Howdy y'all, in this video today, I'm gonna give you the number one reason why I see gas and bloating in my clinic. If you wait till the very end of the video, I'll give you the top 4 reasons how to fix that number one reason. Coming up next. Guys, let's talk about it. So for those of you guys who are joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam, and yes, I'm an actual poop guru. If you're new to the video series, consider subscribing. Bloating, gas, distension, the bane of your existence. And I can tell you, you are not alone. There are so many people who come to see me because they feel bloated, they have a lot of gas, they're feeling like they're pregnant all the time, their belly is just like a basketball, they don't know exactly what to do, and they've tried everything to help out with their bowel issues. I see this, a lot of GI doctors see this, and you may be one of the millions of people who are suffering from this. So I'm going to give you my number one reason why I see this. I can tell you exactly what's going on and what we can do for this. You guys ready? Come closer. A little closer. The number one reason why people are bloated and have gas is they are constipated. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that is right. You may be surprised by that answer. In fact, you may be surprised that you actually may be constipated and may not even realize it. Even going to the bathroom on a daily basis doesn't mean that you still don't have issues with your bowels and you could still be constipated. But this is the number one reason why people have gas and have bloating. And when I see patients with bloating in my clinic, one of the first things I try to fix is their bowel habits. So it can be surprising to hear that, especially if you go to the bathroom every single day. But let me give you an analogy. If you're going to the restroom every single day and you push out 80% of all that, yes, crap that's in there, you still have 20% that's still inside your colon. And that 20% at some point in time needs to get out. And until you drop those poop bombs, you're still going to be constipated. So why is that the case? The slower your motility is, the higher there's going to be gas inside your colon. Whenever you have stool going from your GI tract, from your stomach to your small intestine to your colon, the time it gets through there can make it more difficult for you to get rid of gas, because the more you have stool inside your body, the more likely you can have more bacteria that's going to be there. There's more fermentation, more methane, and more gas is produced. In fact, some of the methane that's produced from the bacteria inside your GI tract, that in of itself can also slow down your gut. So it ends up being a very vicious cycle. You have stool in your colon that still goes down very, very slowly, and as it's going down slowly, that gas from the bacteria produces methane, which in turn makes it slow, and ends up being on and on and on, and it gets to the point in time your normal may not be going to the restroom as effectively or as consistently or as complete as you would like, and that in turn can make you bloated, distended, have a whole bunch of gas. So my recommendation first, before I do anything else, is to treat the constipation. I need to make sure that you are fully going to the restroom, not just every single day, but having a full bowel movement where everything is going through and you don't have any of that 20% still stuck in there. I want to make sure you have a complete full poo. Yes, guys, I am your poo guru. So how do we do that? These are the top 4 things I recommend to help you go to the restroom better, and by doing that, we should help out with your gas and bloating. Now, I would recommend for you guys to do this, especially if you suffer from gas, because this is going to be one of the most effective things that we can do. I can't fix your gas if you're not going to poo. And if you can't poo correctly, this video is for you. Oh, man, I rhymed it. Yes, 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 yes for me. Tip number 1, drink water. This is such an easy and free thing to do. Guys, water's free. You go to a restaurant, get some water. Go get some water from your tap water. It's free, it's effective, and it works. There's so many people who do not drink enough water. And what water does, it actually acts as a way to slide stool through. But the less water that you have, the more harder your stool is going to be, because your body's trying to absorb all that water from your colon, and by doing that, it's going to make your stools a lot more harder. If you drink more water, you're going to be able to poo better. Tip number 2, guys, break a sweat. Go running, go jogging. Have you guys ever heard of runner's trots? Well, I have. This is the effect of actually having to use the restroom, having to poo after you go for a long run. And what happens is that the more you move your body, the more your colon wants to move. This is why you have to take a dump sometimes when you're in the middle of running. So try to break a sweat, try to exercise, and that can help you move things a lot more effective. Number 3, you need to establish a daily routine. Your body and your GI tract wants a routine. It wants to know when to go, and it knows exactly where you're going to go. So what I would recommend is every single day, find a time for you to sit down in the toilet for 5 minutes and use the restroom. And make this a consistent time every single day. The best time to do this is generally after breakfast, especially if you have coffee or tea, because that's going to help you to use the restroom. After breakfast, just sit down and try to take a poop. Don't force it. If you can't go, that's fine. But establishing that routine of having a daily time to go will allow your body to know that, hey, I'm going to prep myself for this time. And in fact, it may get to a point in time where your body is going to let you know, hey, I know you just ate, I'm going to use the restroom. Establish a daily poop routine. Number 4, consider adding a prebiotic and a probiotic. So a prebiotic is food that can actually nourish your GI tract. They're very effective foods that can act as prebiotics. And by doing this, this actually may help out with your gut microbiome. A probiotic are live organisms that you can ingest, typically in a pill. There are 3 main strains of probiotics that you need to look out for, and these are the ones that have been studied in clinical trials. Number 1 is Lactobacillus plantarum. Number 2 is Bifidobacterium breve. And number 3 is Bifidobacter lactis. Now, probiotics and prebiotics don't work for everybody. And if it doesn't work for you, that's perfectly fine. But before you try and do this, make sure you speak to your healthcare provider about whether you should take a prebiotic or a probiotic. But guys, I can tell you one of the more frustrating things for you and for me is trying to deal with bloating. But if we can't get things going, if you can't use the restroom, your bloating is not going to be fixed. Keep in mind your GI tract is one big long tube. If part of the tube is clogged up or even partially clogged up, things will back up and cause a lot of bloating to occur. I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you are interested in more tips for bloating, I'll put my bloating playlist here. And if you're wondering if the Squatty Potty can help out with your constipation, I'm going to put this video right up here. So my question today for you guys, what tips do you have for bloating? Comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But stay happy and stay healthy. Bloating, man, bloating sucks. So for those guys who are joining for the first time, golly. In fact, some of that methane that the gas, in fact, where you're normal may not be going to the, number 3, you got to establish, number 3, after breakfast, sit down and just sit down and sit down. Sorry. So a prebiotic. Number 2 is Bifidobacterium breve. My question of the day for you guys, what tips do you guys have for bloating?